close your eyes.
Redbot focused episode. I have to admit, this is quite the surprise. I mean, we're only halfway through the character focused episodes for each ranger, and already we're detouring into side characters. But you know, after the last episode, I'm just looking for something that'll be a fun watch. Even if this episode focuses more on Brody and his relationship to Redbot, I'd take that at this point, since I'm still waiting for this show to change my mind on the Red Ranger. And hey, it gives me the opportunity to make this joke.
Hey there, have you heard about my robot friend? He's metal and small and doesn't judge me at all. He's a cyberwire bundle of joy, my robot friend.
But enough stalling, this show's not getting any better by me just sitting here, and I've been through too much to give up on the show now, so let's go ahead and take a look at episode 6, My Friend Redbot. The episode opens with Victor Vincent setting up a banner for the school dance, telling Monty that it gives him a chance to impress the ladies, and even though Monty reminds Victor that he fell into the punch bowl last year, Victor says that won't happen again. At shop class, Redbot is reading a fairy tale about a prince asking a maiden to a ball when he's interrupted by Cody, but Haley says that her dog just wants to play, adding that friendship might not be in Redbot's databanks before heading off to help set up for the dance. After hearing there is a dance, Redbot asks Haley if she'll go with him, but she takes it as a joke, not thinking that a robot would want to go to a dance. Obviously, I'm gonna blame this on the time travel, since it means scenes like this never happened.
Alpha, what are you doing here?
Well, I wanted to party with you guys, and I figured this would be the perfect opportunity.
Well, you do have a splendid costume.
What costume?
On the ship, a monster called Bad Pipes is showing off the hypnotic power of his music by making Cosmo Royale and some Kudabots dance on stage, and look at that, another fart joke. That's just great. When the spell wears off, Bad Pipes says he'll use his music to get the power stars from the Rangers, while back at school, Victor is practicing his dance moves. This surprisingly doesn't result in Victor getting food dumped on him, but rather has Brody and Haley take the hit after Victor sends the punch bowl flying at them. The two head to shop class to get cleaned up, where Brody says this.
Hey, Cody, where's Redbot? What did he say?
I don't know. I don't speak dog.
Oh, good point.
Oh, for the love of, you're not an alien! You grew up on Earth! Are you telling me you don't know what a dog is? Anyway, Brody finds Redbot's book, leading to Haley telling Brody of how she rejected Redbot, which Brody says caused the robot to leave because he was upset. Despite not believing that robots have feelings, Haley offers to find Redbot since Brody's busy helping with the dance. With Cody's help, Haley tracks Redbot to the woods, where she runs into Bad Pipes, who tries to hypnotize the White Ranger into handing over her power star. Redbot comes out of nowhere to kick Bad Pipes' instrument from his hands, breaking his hold on Haley, who promptly morphs into action. After a quick fight, Bad Pipes knocks Haley down, but before he can blast her with his bagpipes, Redbot again steps in to protect her. Our two heroes decide to retreat, but don't get far as Redbot ends up crashing thanks to only having one jet boot. After Cody finds her, Haley wakes to a malfunctioning Redbot and a broken datacom, so she gives her communicator to Cody so the dog can lead the other Rangers to her. Haley then drags Redbot before the robot wakes from his reboot, and after thanking Redbot for saving her life, Haley comes to a realization.
Then it is true. You do have feelings.
Yes, I do. Brody says that's what makes me special.
Not so special in my line of work, buddy. With Redbot back online, Haley activates her morph cycle so the two can find Bad Pipes. Meanwhile, Cody meets the other Rangers at the high school and begins leading them to Haley's location. The gang is stopped short, however, as Bad Pipes and Ripcon attack the team before Bad Pipes uses his music against the Rangers. This time, Haley arrives in the nick of time to save the team, giving them an opening to destroy the monster's bagpipes, but Ripcon strikes the team down, causing Haley to demorph. Cody then comes in to drag the evil bagpipes slightly away from the villains, allowing the Rangers to destroy the weapon with their blasters. The team then morphs to fight the monsters, with Brody breaking off from the others to face Ripcon alone. Brody constantly gets knocked around by Ripcon, who's clearly the superior fighter, not that you'd guess that by the dialogue, since Brody talks throughout the fight like he's winning. Look, there's a difference between believing in yourself in a dire situation and being stupidly arrogant. While that's going on, the other Rangers chase Bad Pipes to the beach, where the monster pulls a fan out of flippin' nowhere and starts beating our heroes with it.
And then, they lost because they have to. That was the writing. They were like, they start to lose.
Thanks, Andy. However, the musical monster quickly grows giant, so the Rangers call on the Megazord to take him on. The Rangers end up on the ropes, though, so Brody calls on the Rumble Tusk Zord, which is just what the team needs to win the day. After the fight, Galvanax yells at Ripcon and threatens him some, while Madamodius goes into a secret room on the ship. Inside said room, Madamodius greets a stowaway that she captured and has hooked up to a machine, saying that Galvanax and Ripcon have no idea what she's capable of, while she holds the gold power star menacingly. But enough about that, let's actually get to the dance this episode's been building up to. Everybody's dancing and having a good time when Victor slides in, using Monty's remote-controlled shoes to make him dance better, but the shoes malfunction, sending Victor down the hallway while Monty chases after him with a fire extinguisher. Calvin then asks Haley if she wants to dance, but she instead goes into shop class to dance with Redbot since he asked first, and the episode ends with the Rangers following Haley so they can all have a dance party together. This episode is pretty good. While it's yet another character-focused episode for one of the Rangers, this episode seeks to develop Haley a bit more, which actually works in the episode's favor since she's becoming one of my favorite characters. Though I was initially put off by her robo-racism because of my own experience in talking about robotic superheroes, her dismissiveness toward Redbot comes more from a place of misunderstanding than anything else. After all, she's never seen a sentient robot before, let alone one from space, so it makes sense that she would treat Redbot more like a tool rather than a person with actual feelings. And in fact, when she does discover that Redbot's capable of actual emotion, she apologizes for her behavior and starts considering the robot's feelings. Also, her Ranger voice is just awesome, having much more intensity and strength than the guy who actually does the morph call in this episode. He said while segueing into the negative. Yeah, Brody's not good here, despite the fact that a chunk of this episode has its first real duel against Ripcon. The whole scene feels really confused as to what it wants to say, with the Sentai footage showing Ripcon as this totally intimidating force, while the dialogue seems to think that Brody's so cool because he's skilled enough to take this guy down without much concern or fear for his life. Even Megaforce did this better, because at least when Troy defeated Creepox the first time, he knew he barely got out alive, though the episode does get some points back for that pretty cool stinger with Madamodius and the Gold Ranger. If I could put my speculator hat on for a bit, I would say that the stowaway is probably Aiden, who was caught trying to rescue his brother from Galvanex's ship after he got a hold of the Gold Power Star, and so now Madamodius is trying to brainwash him into being our first evil Gold Ranger. Though where the shield, poncho, and guitar come in, I have no idea, but I'm still excited to see where this goes. One thing I do have to question though is why Mick isn't in this episode at all, despite Redbot's name being in the title, and things get even weirder since Kelson Henderson is in this episode, he's just the guy voicing the monster Bagpipes. I'm not sure if it's some kind of contract thing where he can't play Mick and a monster in the same episode, or if they think that kids would question why a monster sounds a lot like Mick, but either way, it's a cool factoid. Overall, while I think this episode is made worse by Brody's antics, the episode is able to redeem itself with a strong lead character and further developing the Gold Ranger plot, making this an episode that I can recommend. I'm Nick, aka IronBat1993, and may the power protect you. Please subscribe for reviews of Ninja Steel, episode reviews. Also check out Dino Charge reviews too, episode reviews. Also there's Ninjago, which has reviews too. Go! Please subscribe.